Hello, welcome to Prattle, Season 6. I'd recorded a different episode for this week's podcast, and then decided to exchange it because I didn't want to start the year on a bit of a sad story. So that episode's being shifted to next week. So I thought I'd just come up with something whimsical for today. It's not as heavy. Don't start the new year on kind of a sad, negative note. You'll find out what that's going to be next week. Might be a bit triggering for people, but it is what it is. Anyway, this week's episode is going to be about the medium of books, and how I'm struggling at the moment to actually, I'm going to say read, but I can read, just actually get through a book. So stay around and we'll prattle about that.
Hello and welcome to Infinite Prattle! Unscripted, unedited prattle on everything. Hosted by me, Stephen. Listen, like, share and subscribe and enjoy the show.
Hi, so glad you can make it back to me. I hope you're enjoying these new videos that I'm producing. It's a little bit different for me. I feel a bit weird not sitting here with something. I was going to use my podcasting microphone. I may change that. But I was going to use one of these microphones, like a newsreader, but I felt that was a bit weird. Might be good for interviewing people. Maybe they could have their own, because I've got two. Anyway, I've decided to go with what I've gone with at the moment. It is a lavalier mic, connected to the phone, and I hope it sounds okay for you. Let me know if you're thinking it's dipping quality or that it's okay. Because let's face it, a podcast, especially an audio podcast, depends on its sound quality. So I'm hoping it's been okay for you. Anyway, books. I love books. In my little cave here, I have quite a collection of books surrounding me. Not going to lie, they're mainly geeky books, as some would say. Autobiographical ones. So a lot of them on this side. There's a little bookshelf here. I've got a couple of nice graphic novel alien books here, and then the top couple of shelves on this shelf you can't see. It's one of the thin billy bookcases from IKEA. There's a load of graphic novels and a lot of the alien universe kind of books, like David's drawings from Covenant, and the set photography of Aliens, and blueprints from the Alien films, and just lots of different books from Aliens. Some spanning back to before Disney, but weirdly I think all of them have been produced by Titan. I think they must have some sort of rights to the production of anything that isn't like a graphic novel, let's say. And under that I've got the complete Douglas Adams Hitchhiker Guide and Sam and Dow, and the basically the Dirk Gently stuff as well. And then under that I've got some really nice books that I've got a really nice version of the ultimate Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and a really nice. I'll show you. For the people that are watching, I can show you. So I got these recently as a nice little gift to myself, and got me little bookmarks in them. But they're just really nice, leatherette bound, nice graphics, and the actual pages of them are silvered, so it kind of gives a nice effect. Really, I've not reread it yet. I have read it previously. I've not read it again since obtaining it. And then I have my favourite of all time. I did actually write some notes for this podcast before I started. I've been trying to do that recently. Oh god, this is dusty. And I'm not even looking at them, so well done me. So I've got the H.G. Wells collection here. It contains War of the Worlds, and it's a lovely red. In my brain I always think it's leather, but it isn't. It's like a canvasy kind of woven cover, and it contains the Time Machine, the Island of Dr. Monroe, the War of the Worlds, which is my favourite science fiction book of all time. It's amazing. If you've never read it, please do, and read it in the essence that it was written in. The fact it was written in like the 50s, I want to say. The First Men in the Moon and The Invisible Man. And The Invisible Man, again, if you've never read it, it's a must. It is written in such a way that it's quite chilling. And again, it's written of the time that they were in, so technology is lacking, and the science that's in them is maybe debunked today and a bit like magic back then, but it sounds like it could be so. They're written in the way that, H.G. Wells was obviously a man of science, or a man that read a lot about science and discovery, and I can't remember his background now, but I'm sure he was quite a well-educated man in that era, and I'm not sure if he was a scientist anyway. I feel like he's one of these people that give up something to become an author. I can't quite remember. I might be making that up. Anyway, H.G. Wells is All the World's my favourite book, and then under them some self-help books, Alex White books, which he's done a couple of the Alien ones, and I've got a Star Trek one, and the first of the a Star Metal Symphony, which I think is going to be a trilogy, a couple of autobiographies, and some little fun Lego books, and a couple about body language by an FBI agent. And then this side is just all alien novelisations, which I love the display. It's on my Instagram at Infinite Prattle. If you want to have a look, just have a bit of a scroll down. You'll see them at some point. So I am a collector of books, amongst other things, as you can tell from behind me. The Lego display is really annoying me because it keeps going off, and I don't know what's wrong with it. I don't know whether the batteries are low or whether it's just playing up. Anyway. Yes, so I've been struggling reading books. It'll take a while to get to that. It is called Infinite Prattle after all. I've been just struggling trying to actually get through a book, and it's not for the fact that the books I'm trying to read are hard, and it's just my concentration levels, and as always, I always feel guilty if I'm doing something that makes me happy. I really need to work on that. I don't know whether I should get some counselling on that. I do feel quite guilty, but if I'm sat scrolling on my phone, it doesn't really bother me. It's a really weird situation to be in, and the last year I've kind of struggled with that, not having much motivation, felt a bit kind of downtrodden, a bit of burnout, I think, and I've never really experienced that in my life before, so I think the reading the book thing is just something that's come along with that, and it's hard to admit because I'm very much of a person that just fights through everything. But you can only do that for so long, I suppose, before this sort of thing happens. While it's in my brain, the hat I'm wearing today is a Rugrat hat, and it says "Running for my responsibilities," which is kind of what I want to do at the moment. When I was a kid, I used to read loads of books. I used to power through books when I was in infant school. And in the UK, I think that's up to the age of 8 or 9. I think it's 8. So from 4 to 8 is your infant school days, and I used to just read everything. I literally read everything in the school library for my curriculum and for my age level. And I used to finish my work first to read. I do my work correctly, and I think sometimes the teachers were annoyed about how quickly I could do my work and get it correct to go and read. Sometimes they'd give me extra tasks, or they'd get me to go and help other students. Which annoyed me because I was like, no, the reward is go and read. Why are you getting me to do other things? And that's not me being selfish. It's what a kid's like, isn't it? You tell them something, and then you change the parameters. And I've always kind of hated that. But yeah, I used to plough through books as a child. Obviously, children's books are a little bit different. But even going into my teenage years, if someone gave me, for example, a novelisation. At the moment, I've been reading novelisations of Gremlins, so this is the children's novelisation that I've got in my hand. And I read that, in one sitting, and Gremlins and Gremlins 2 are the ones that I'm reading at the moment, and the only ones I'm getting through at the moment. Again, I think it's partly because I know the films, and they're easy to read, and I know what's coming kind of thing. And they are written in a very easy way. On that note, actually, if you ever read a novelisation of a film, it's a good way to get a bit further insight into the characters or the film itself, because a lot of novelisations are written from the drafts of the screenplays. So sometimes before the film's gone actually into production. So a lot of the novelisations, especially like the Alien ones as well, will have things that aren't in the film. So, for example, the Gremlin novelisation of the film actually tells you where the Gremlins come from. There's like the first chapter is, where did the Gremlins come from? So that's pretty cool. So you sometimes get either deleted scenes or scenes that weren't even filmed in the first place. So I always love that about the novelisations. And plus they're really easy to read because they are written in a style for someone to absorb it as a companion to the film almost. But I've always been a big reader of just anything. Textbooks, self-help, self-learning, autobiographical, factual, anything. And I've normally had this thing where I would have like at least 3 books going at the same time. And I know a lot of people can't do that. They have to like read a book, get through it, start another one. But I would sometimes have maybe up to 5 sometimes going. But 3 was the norm for me, and still is really, because even though I'm reading like the novelisations of some films, I have another book ongoing, which is from a YouTuber, Chris Broad, the Broad in Japan channel, and he wrote a book. So I'm currently reading that, and what else am I reading? Oh, I started June as well. So I need to actually get on with that really. But these have been ongoing for a long time. But yeah, I used to have at least like I kind of like an autobiographical kind of book going on, or something based in real world. I used to always have something like sci-fi or some fiction that I could read, and sometimes along with that something that was like self-help or another factual style book if it wasn't an autobiography. Very rarely have 2 fiction going on at the same time. Multiple factual books, sometimes, or real life stuff was okay. As in the fantasy world, I like to kind of keep my brain in that mode so my imagination doesn't get confused about what's going on. So I think that's the joy about reading a book as well. Not just the fact that, especially if it's something you haven't read, not like a film tie-in, but if you've not read it before, you get that image in your brain. And I think that's sometimes why it's so hard to go the other way. Reading a novelisation of a film you've watched can actually give you stuff, because, as I say, sometimes things aren't in the film and you think, oh, that explains that, that's pretty cool. Whereas if you go the other way, Lord of the Rings and such things are quite a good example, because even though the films are so long, there's things they didn't include, and there's details they didn't. I mean, J.R.R. Tolkien, like, detail up the arse for that guy. He loved a good exposition, and I love him for it. Like, the world he built was incredible. So yeah, I always had a few books going on at the same time, and I don't know if maybe that's the issue with me at the moment, because my brain's quite busy. Maybe I need to try and move away from that for the time being, or maybe I just need to be more focused and not give myself a hard time about reading. It's weird that I do that. I don't know why I do that. It's just a thing. I have a load of books downstairs. We have books everywhere in this house. I love the fact Sarah loves books as well. And we have a load of books downstairs. I didn't get any books this year because the last few years, probably stretching back to COVID, I've probably had books every year, and I've probably read one of them. I mean, Sarah got me Bruce Dickinson autobiography years ago, whenever it came out. I mean, Google when it came out. She actually went to the signing on her birthday in Nottingham. She was on the train with her mum, and she wasn't very well at the time. She was quite poorly at the time. She was on oxygen and everything. But she said to her mum, I was a bit gutted because I couldn't go because I was working, couldn't get the day off. And they just said they were going to go out for the day. I thought they were going for a coffee or something like that. And bless her, she travelled to Nottingham, queued up, bought the book, queued up. Luckily, because she's disabled, she got fast tracked to the front, which was a big help because she couldn't have stood in the queue. She said it stretched for a long way around the block. And I was just gutted because she met him and he signed the book for me, but she did it, and it was ace. I was really made up when she gave me the book, but I've not bloody read it. Like, I forgot to take it on holiday. We went on holiday that year, and I forgot to take it with me. And I actually bought it on Kindle, actually by accident, because I was looking at it on Kindle thinking, how much is it? And I accidentally bought it, and I thought, actually, I can start reading it. So I started reading it on the Kindle, and then so I read a few chapters on holiday, and then came back and read a chapter at home, and then it's sat on the shelf. So this is what I've been doing. So it's not really unique to this year. It stretches back. But what used to happen with me was I'd buy a load of books, and they'd sit on the shelf, and then the urge would come to me, and I'd suddenly get into them again, and then I'd barrel through quite a lot in a short space of time, maybe 6 months, and get through a load. But I used to have a job where I could sit and read. So my job when I was in a signal box, like if it was quiet, I would read a newspaper or take a book with me and do a bit of reading, so I could get through, a couple of hours reading a night potentially. Because it's, doing night shifts and stuff, a little bit quieter, so you can fit things in between your work, and it's not distracting you. You weren't allowed phones and radios and things like that, so a book's the perfect thing to keep your attention, keep you awake. And I used to get through so many books. When I worked in my first signal box, which was very quiet overnight, I sometimes would read a couple of books a week. I got to the point where I stopped actually buying books and started using the library or doing book exchanges and stuff, because unless it was something I wanted to keep, like, say, the Alien collection that I have, it wasn't really worth me doing it, because it was costing me a bloody fortune, because I could read that many. But I don't know why at the moment I've got such brain fog for it. Because when I get into it, I really do enjoy it. I don't know whether I think it's a bit of a wasted time, or whether it's I say wasted time, because I know there's other things I probably should be doing, and again, chastise myself for giving myself time, but there's many jobs around the house that I put off and put off and put off. I think sometimes that plays on my mind a little bit, and then I still don't do anything about it. It's a big vicious circle. I know about these things, try to please myself, and then I can't fully enjoy that time because I know I'm really putting it off. And I've been like this for years, so if anyone's got any advice, that would be really useful. I'm not all bad. I can get into a book occasionally, and I can read stuff, but I think partly as well is my job over the last few years involves a lot of reading as well. So I have to read documents and such things. So maybe I'm also relating the work thing to reading, and my brain's kind of like, oh my god, you can't read anything else, kind of thing. Staring at the screen all day as well, staring at my computer. It's kind of partly why the podcast was late. I think my brain was just like, I can't really sit and stare at a screen any longer. I can't work at a computer. And also I forget to wear my glasses quite a lot, so that's not a good thing. But yeah, the whole thing with multiple books, though, maybe that is a thing that I need to kind of calm down on, and maybe just relax about that, and maybe choose a book and make time for it and put time aside. And I want to say force myself, but almost force myself to read that book, because I've got quite a lot unfinished as well. Say, like, the Chris Broad book is sat by my bedside table and I've not finished it. Them FBI books I told you about the start of the podcast, really want to read them, because I struggle sometimes with people's body language and facial expressions and tone of voice. And it's basically he's an ex-FBI agent, and he's basically saying how to read people, and I thought it'd be useful. So it's almost like a self-help book for me. So I really need to read them. And I used to love reading self-help books, actually. Self-learning books, probably, really. Self-discovery. And one I'll recommend another author to you is a guy called Edward de Bono, or de Bono. I don't know how you pronounce his name, but you'll have heard of him, or at least his work. He coined, like, the phrase "thinking outside the box," amongst others. Lateral thinking, I think, was his as well. And his books are very much about how the brain works, how to organise your thoughts. And I've read many of his books, and they're all brilliant. And maybe I should read them again to help me with my current situation. Weirdly enough, reading them really helped with my mum and dad's divorce. There was a lot going on. I was on a training course for the joining the company that I'm in now, and I was on quite an intense training course. And I'd started to read them books, and I really, really enjoyed them. One of them being Six Thinking Hats, which is a brilliant read and brilliant self-help book. If you jumble your thoughts up a little bit. It kind of says about putting different coloured hats on to basically think about a situation only in a certain mindset, and each hat has a mindset. Really, really good. Simple but effective. So yeah, Edward de Bono is a must if you're into that sort of psychology, self-learning. Really, really helped me, and I might get them out, break them out, and read six Thinking Hats again. I'll add that to the list. Just let me know, if you've got any tips. How many books do you read? I know some people can barrel through them, and I wish I was that way. Maybe when I get back into it, my speed will pick up and the absorption of it will pick up. And I need to be on my phone less. I need to be scrolling through my phone less. And them times when I waste 20 minutes on a mobile game, I just need to delete them off my phone, I think, and spend 20 minutes reading a book. I think that's probably the solution. And I don't mind Kindle devices. I do own a Kindle, and I don't mind reading on one of them. But there is something special about holding a physical book in your hand and smelling the pages, especially old books. I don't mind a second-hand book, and sometimes they're nicer if it's been used, and as long as it's in good condition. I don't like it when they're all scuffed and stuff like that, but if they're in good condition, don't mind a little bit of wear, but it's that smell of a book, of the pages and the ink, and it's strange. I get some of the books out that I had as a kid, and the smell is very nostalgic. So Kindles are good. I read some books sometimes to save my books as well. A big thing I do is Audible as well. I listen to a lot of books. The problem with that is sometimes I don't absorb it because you get distracted when you're listening and you're not maybe paying as much attention, whereas when you read it, you have to read it. And I think you take it in a little bit more. So, I think I just need to make a plan. I think I just need to doom scroll less. I think we all probably do. And I think I just need to make time for that, not feel guilty. And having that 20 minutes of reading, which feels good, may enable me to go and feel that I can go and accomplish something else around the house that needs doing. Because I'm pretty sure Sarah's getting pissed off. I'm great when I start, but it's the starting anything. As you know. Anyway, thanks very much for joining me on the podcast today. Give us a like and a follow and all that jazz if you want to. Go back and check some other podcasts out. Thank you very much for listening to me today. Prattle on. Please feel free to prattle back to me in the comments. Suggest what topics you'd like to hear my thoughts on. And I'd like to hear your thoughts on books. Do you think books are a waste of time? Do you like Kindles? Do you not like Kindles? And what do you think of audiobooks? Do you listen to them? I think biographies are the best on Audible, to be fair, because listening to the person that's wrote the book is quite special. It's quite special. Anyway, take care of yourselves, and I'll speak to you on the next podcast. And remember, keep prattling.
Thanks for listening to Infinite Prattle with your host, Stephen. Follow me on social networks at Infinite Prattle, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks very much.